You said you majored in forestry, so
Right.
like wildlife. What got you from that and
To
to
teaching?
teaching?
Oh man, it's a heck of a story.
Go for it.
Okay, so 2007, 2008, there was a huge recession, right? And the project that I was working on at the time was partially financed by the state of Texas and partially financed by wealthy contributors, right? So we worked on these high fence ranches that are owned by very, very wealthy people. And when when stock prices and things like that start to really, the economy takes a huge dive, then wealthy people tend to protect their assets. They pull out of things that are kind of frivolous, extraneous. And these big high fence ranches are more like a toy, right, for the ultra wealthy.
Yeah.
And so what they do is they fire everybody and shut the ranch down. And they cut the overhead cost, right? And then when the economy comes back, they just hire new people, right? Well, I kind of got caught up in that, and that's great if you're a multimillionaire. It's a problem when you're 23 and you have a baby on the way, you know. So I was supposed to have a 5-year job, and it was
Was it a contract? Or
no, it was just hired. But I mean the duration of this project was going to be 5 years,
it.
right? So it was supposed to be at least 5 years on the job, like a guaranteed job for that period of time, and
So it was '07. It was right before the recession.
let's see, I think it was '07. Yeah, that's right. And my boss called me and said, in 30 days, you're losing your job. I'm like, oh my God, what do I do?
So that was the year after.
Yeah, and so I was really depressed. I was really.
Yeah, no shit.
I mean, yeah, I got a baby that could be due any minute, and I'm about to lose my job, right? And I was down. I was really, really down because I really believed this is what I was supposed to do with my life. And I'd gone to get ice cream. It was cherry fudge truffle.
That's a great way to.
Yeah,
deal with
to drown your
depression.
sorrows, right?
Yeah, just.
And I was going to get this ice cream, this little pint of ice cream, and there was only one pint of it left. And there was another guy reaching for the same ice cream at the same moment. And I almost was like, like jumped in front of him to get the ice cream, But I was like, nah, I don't know what he's going through. And I was like, tough day, man. He's like, yeah, I'm really trying to hire science teachers, and I just can't find anybody to teach biology. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm the superintendent of a school district, and I just, I got all my staff positions filled, but there's just nobody to teach biology. And I was like, hope you fix that problem. And I just like ran off because I swore I'd never be a teacher.
Did he get the ice cream at least?
No, I didn't get the ice cream. I let him have the ice
gave it
cream.
to
And so it was just such a weird experience. And I went home. I went to my wife was working in a print store at the time, and she knew that I was losing my job, of course. And I started to tell her about what had happened to me buying ice cream, and she was like, "Hey, have you ever thought about being a teacher?" And I was like, "What?" And she goes, "Yeah, there was a principal in here making copies, like trying to find science teachers." I was like, "This is nuts. What is going on?" Right? And then I think it was the next day, there was a Boy Scout troop that wanted me to do like a nature walk for the kids. It was like a 10-mile hike, and the scoutmaster was fine with getting them there and getting them on the hike and everything, but he didn't know anything about the plants and animals of East Texas. He's like, "Hey, I know you were in Boy Scouts. Will you come teach these scouts?" I was like, "Yeah, I'd be happy to." And so we're doing this hike, and I'm teaching the kids about the trees and water and how water works in an ecosystem and everything like that. And he says, "Allan, I believe God's calling you to be a teacher." And I was like, no, you heard wrong. You got that phone call mixed up, man. That was for somebody else. And then I went on and taught for a little bit. He's like, "Allan, I believe you're supposed to be a teacher." And I was like, no, I don't know about all that. And this kept happening. It kept going on and on and on.
It is weird that you were being in denial, even
Yes.
though you didn't have a job.
Well, man, I'm going to tell you what. Everyone should make plans in life, but the one thing you can plan on is that God does not agree with your plan. You know what I mean? Like, that there's a different plan that's not yours. But anyway, so in discussion with my wife was like, "Maybe you should apply to be a teacher." I was like, "Man, I don't know anything about teaching. I don't know anything about public school. I don't know anywhere. What would I do, right? I've never had any training on classroom or anything like that. And she's like, well, just go take the content exam and see how you do. So I took the content exam and I got like a 95 or something on the content exam. Like, it was a breeze. And there's another exam you have to take, this the classroom portion, right? And that's for education majors. That's what people like who've been taught about the classroom and student teachers and stuff like that. I didn't do any of that. So I expected to fail. I walked in and got a 90 on that. I was like, oh, geez. Now I got no excuse, right? So I sent out 5 resumes for teaching jobs, which I had no qualifications for. And I got 5 interviews in 5 days. And the first interview I went to, the principal wasn't there. Second interview, I got the job. And I've been a teacher ever since. So it was just, everything just fell into place. You know what I mean? And in the middle of a recession, like when there's people that just could not find work. I couldn't find work. I've been looking for work with all the forestry companies and paper companies and stuff like that, and I couldn't find any work. And when I submitted to my calling of being a teacher, it instantly just happened right away.